Coming up on the bottom line, we're talking to Wendy, Sheehan, Donnell, and Kevin Harter about Amazon's new opened up Kindle. They're going to have Kindle Apps. We'll see you in a couple seconds.
Save time and money by skipping business trips and using GoToMeeting. Visit gotomeeting.com/techpodcast and get 30 days for free.
Welcome to the bottom line. My name is Ayaz Akhtar. Amazon wants active content on the Kindle. They're talking about opening up their Kindle to things like Sudoku and I think cookbooks and other weird things like that. Wendy, do you think this is a natural progression for Kindle, or is this something Amazon is doing in reaction to that other company in Cupertino?
It's interesting because it's probably a natural progression, but it's very well timed considering the announcement that Apple's going to have next week. I mean, what doesn't have apps? I mean, even printers these days have apps. So yeah, I think it's sort of a natural. Why can I not say that? Natural progression, but well timed.
Now, Kevin, do you think this is going to make anybody want to buy a Kindle any more than they already did? I mean, it was pretty much a single function device. It's an ebook reader, and it did a decent job at that. And actually, some people have complaints about that in general. Do you think this is going to make anyone switch their minds and go, yeah, I totally want a Kindle because I can play Snake on it?
Well, I have a hard time envisioning what kind of application is going to be available that's going to make it any better than what it is. You're right. It's a great ebook reader. It does have its limitations, usually related to the display, of course, which are also going to be, or the display is also going to limit the applications, of course. So I don't know what you're going to add to it that's going to make it any more compelling at the price point that it is. If they lower the price and add apps, then I'm interested.
Yeah, go ahead.
The big unknown here is what Apple's going to release. If the tablet is what we think it'll be nothing like an e-reader. So it's kind of interesting to sort of compare those two because they don't seem comparable to me.
Yeah, and one of the other problems I think the Kindle has in general is that they took away the expansion slot. So you can't do things like mapping right away because maps take up a lot of data. When I saw apps coming out, I thought, hey, this is a great idea. You know, very readable maps, and you can actually track where you're going with the 3G connection. But they took out the expansion slot on Kindle too. I think this is a bad move. Switching gears, guys, because, well, let's talk about other apps and other things. iPhone might go with Bing as its actual default search engine. Do you think this is going to have an impact on the general user, Kevin? Do you think that they're going to go, oh, I use Bing on my phone, I'm going to use it on my desktop too?
Oh, there might be a little bit of bleed through like that, but I think that as long as the search results are reliable, it doesn't really matter who is providing that search result. I do like the Bing app on the iPhone currently for some specific things like searching for images or maybe some travel information. But as far as a general search engine goes, I'm pretty stuck on Google, and I don't see this being a huge change to the average consumer, other than a way to get some more complaints going to Apple's direction.
Now, Wendy, what kind of changes do you think Bing has to make, or Microsoft has to make to Bing, such that it actually does have an impact on the consumer? I mean, like, obviously they're going to have an iPhone-based interface, but what kind of changes do you think will actually make somebody become a permanent Bing user?
I mean, actually, if they're the default browser, I bet you a lot of people won't change it. It depends how easy Apple makes it to change back to Google and how in love with Google you are. But as far as browsers are concerned, I don't have a problem with Bing. I mean, I think it's a perfectly good browser. I mean, I would opt for Google if I had to choose, but if Bing were my default, I'd probably try it for a little while, and then if I didn't like it, switch back to Google. I don't think it's a poor browser, though.
Yeah, I think that that most people aren't going to actually bother type in Google in the address bar and then go to Google. They use that built-in search engine that's already in there. And I don't know if there's even an option to switch search engines on the iPhone. Is there?
Not currently, but I give it 48 hours after this Bing thing before somebody comes up with a way to put Google back in there.
Oh, yeah, there's also a Google app. You can always use that. Now, guys, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Wendy, Sheehan, Donnell from PC Mag, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Kevin Harter, backslash-technologies.com. You can see the subtle sign behind him. And TechVie is everywhere. We're on YouTube, Blip, everywhere. And hopefully, maybe we'll put a Kindle app together. You can watch us really slowly as we get refreshed. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you later.
This show brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Use promo code TVI6 and get $5 off any order over $30.